Greg Sankey came out earlier today, and I thought this was, how should I say this? It was rather interesting that he came out in support of something like this. And our good buddy Scoot Barley, who's originally a 247 SEC guy, he says that 8 SEC teams could be in the college football playoff. And here's the tweet. I think there is a real scenario where the SEC is an 8-bid conference. I've had many conversations with individual selection committee members, and we have discussed how Missouri, Vandy, and even Tennessee simply deserve to be in the playoffs. It's a no-brainer that the SEC has carved out at least 6 to 8 spots in the playoffs. Now, I'm going to wait to give my opinion on this. Jackson, I want to give you the floor first of all, and so you can express your opinion for this one.
Tennessee being a playoff team, I'm just going to laugh at that, honestly, especially if they're losing in Gainesville again, which I assume they will this year, which they always tend to do that, death tats and losing in Gainesville. But I feel like it could be as high as 5 teams getting in the playoffs. I mean, that's what it feels like. I mean, the SEC title teams are going to make it. Whoever's 3rd and 4th is going to make it. Question is, who's going to be in 5th place? And I think after week 12, we're definitely going to have a better idea on who should get in 12-team playoffs for 2025 for the SEC.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. But I will say this when it comes to where I think the SEC could be. In my opinion, I thought Greg Sankey kind of made an ass out of himself and the league as a whole. And let me explain why. When I look at this bracket of what could I expect from this year's college football playoff compared to what we saw last year, I thought it's more wide open for the SEC because I think for the Big Ten, you only have 3, maybe 4 college football playoff contenders. Obviously, your top 3 in Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. And even if Indiana and Ohio State win out the rest of the year, it doesn't matter if they win or lose the football game. They're both getting into the college football playoff. I feel like the SEC just has so much depth at this point in the season with Texas A&M, with Alabama, with Ole Miss, with Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma. There's so much that you can look forward to with each of these teams that it's kind of hard to solidify them all being in the SEC, or how should I say this? It's kind of hard to point to one team and say they shouldn't be in the college football playoff. That I understand, but I think when it's all said and done, 4 or 5 from the SEC is realistic when we end our conversation. I don't think Texas is getting in. I think Georgia, Ole Miss, Bama, and Texas A&M will be your participants. 4, you're still representing most of the college football playoff. Because here's where I think you'll get 4 guaranteed from the SEC, 3 guaranteed from the Big Ten. You'll have 1 guaranteed from the Big 12, 1 guaranteed from the ACC, and 1 guaranteed of 5. That's 10. You just need to fill in that 1, and I think that last one's going to be Notre Dame. So
if Pitt doesn't destroy their playoff hopes this week.
By the way, I'm so pissed off at College Game Day for fumbling the bag. They should have gone to Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State. They screwed the pooch with that one. Instead, they want to go to a top 25 battle between a Pitt team that's probably going to get run out of the building against Notre Dame.
Wow. Pitt's usually kind of scary at home against top 25 teams, especially with that QB they've had, that Mason Heinsteck.
He took over. He took over for a guy that I played against in high school, Eli Holstein.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like ever since he took over, Pitt's been winning all over the place this season. I mean, a saying that I've told Austin a couple years ago is Pittsburgh is where dreams go to die. I hope for Notre Dame's sake that's not the case, and I think A&M definitely needs to hope that's not the case on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't see it happening in my opinion, but like you mentioned, any given Saturday, anything can happen. We'll just have to see what happens when we get to that point in time this weekend. But I highly doubt. I like Pitt, but they don't have the defense like they're used to. I like Pat Narduzzi. Their defense is going to have a hard time stopping the rushing attack of Jeremiah Love and company and Jadarian Price. I just don't see a scenario where they're able to shut them down.
I mean, especially when Narduzzi said, this game doesn't matter really if we lose. Yeah, you don't say that.
Yeah, when Narduzzi comes out in the presser and says, this game doesn't matter, what's that going to reflect from the team? Yeah. It's just ridiculous that he would say something like that.
Like it matters, like if you're an at-large team, because it's like you need that insurance policy. Like beating Notre Dame is a perfect insurance policy. Yeah, like, and especially if you finish the season at 10-2 and you're in the ACC title game, because whether you win or lose the ACC title game, you've got that automatic insurance policy, the win over Notre Dame, and that winning streak to end the regular season. So, I mean, if I'm Narduzzi, I wouldn't be saying stuff like that in public.
No, I completely agree with you, dude. I thought it was a ridiculous statement that he made in his presser. Let me tell you this too, Jackson. Notre Dame loses this weekend. They're out of the college football playoff hunt.
Yes.
So it should be a critical game for Pitt going into this one. I don't know if this will be a top 20 battle. I don't know where. I think they're top 22 in the college football playoff. Excuse me, by the way. But
you're excused.
I just don't see a scenario where Pitt's defense is going to stand up against Notre Dame. I don't think they get into the college football playoff. I just don't see them going on the road to beat Georgia Tech. And we'll see what happens when they host Miami. Crazier things have happened, but
they'll beat Miami.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, but it would definitely be a much better season compared to what they had at the end of last year. Because if you remember at the beginning of last year, we were talking about Pitt being just this superpower, just seeing how dominant they were on defense. You pick off Kyle McCord 5 times in the first half, and then you just have this total collapse in the second half of the season where you blew an opportunity against Clemson. You blew a lead against Virginia. You couldn't stop SMU's passing attack. You just you collapsed in the second half of the year. I hate to say it. I think that we could potentially be seeing the same thing this year from Pitt once again. And that, in my opinion, could lead to the downfall of Pat Narduzzi here at Pitt. So anything is possible, man. Anything can happen. But again, I just have a very hard time believing that Pitt sticks around with Pat Narduzzi at the end of 2026. I don't think they'll lose 6 straight, but I do see a scenario where you go from 7-2, you're in the hunt for an ACC title, you lose to Notre Dame, you lose to Georgia Tech, and you do end up losing to Miami. You could end up going from 7-2 to 7-5 very fast. And Pat Narduzzi's seat could heat up real fast if you lose the bowl game too.
Yeah. No doubt about it if that were to happen.
But anything's possible, man. But going back to Sankey, I think he made an ass out of himself in the presser for saying 6 to 8 teams, and he mentions Missouri and he mentions Tennessee. I just don't. Why? Why would you mention them? They have 3 losses, and I understand when you compare strength of schedule wise, but I still thought that it was a stupid comment that he made, and I thought it wasn't necessary either. I thought it was really dumb at the end of the day too. Just knowing that you made some stupid comments and stupid decisions just for saying, "Oh, your conference 2 or 3 3-loss teams could make the college football playoff." You got to be realistic about where this conference is at. And I understand he's going to defend the conference to the very end. I don't have a problem with that. But when you're saying asinine statements like the ones that you made earlier today, that's why even people like us that cover the SEC, we tell Greg Sankey, hold on now, pump the brakes, dude.